Hey everyone, Anne-Marie Cross here from annemariecross.com. Just wanted to stop by and do this brief video. I've got some new software ScreenFlow that I'm trialing out, so I thought that I'd do a blog post but in video format for you. Today's topic is all about building quality relationships using social media technologies. And why I want to concentrate on that is I'm seeing a number of people not really leveraging social media tools and in fact possibly tarnishing relationships with people they are just meeting through the things that they're doing and saying or not doing and saying. So watch this very brief video and you can take away some really good tips on how to nurture and build relationships, which as a business owner you need to be aware of, because what do people do when they hire someone or look to invest in someone? They do so when they know, like, and trust someone. So as a service-based provider, a service-based business, you need to be building relationships where people get to know, like, and trust you. Anyway, here we go. What I wanted to share with you is what I call my brand positioning principle. Not unsimilar to what you may have heard of before, the Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. What I've done is I've expanded that a little bit, particularly to incorporate things such as a personal relationship building, bit of marketing, and of course enhancing your expertise and your knowledge. I'm not going to go too much into this. I'll leave that for another video. But what I do want to share with you today is the importance here of the personal relationship building aspect of the brand positioning principle. So what do I mean by that? Well, you know, as someone who is out there networking, and I'm sure you're doing that quite regularly face to face, social networking allows you to reach out to people you may never have had the opportunity to meet, particularly when we look at logistics. We can connect with people wherever they are located in the world, and that's just fantastic. Over the last couple of years, particularly through my radio show that I co-host, we've met people in Canada, the US, the UK, New Zealand, all of these amazing, fantastic people who I would never have had the opportunity to meet were it not for social media. But it's in the quality of the relationships, or the quality of relationships that we've been able to build is really through how we manage those relationships. So on the screen at the moment, you'll notice that I have TweetDeck. A lot of this is probably quite familiar with you. A lot of you I know are using TweetDeck already. And how do I use this to develop relationships? Well, one of the things that I do is I regularly tweet. I share practical tips and strategies on how to build businesses. If you're not already connected with me, feel free to reach out. Love to follow you as well. My Twitter handle here is Anne-Marie Coach. Anne-Marie Coach. Send me a follow and I'll follow you back as well. Now, one of the things that I do regularly on Twitter is I check to see who has tweeted, retweeted me. I share, people who have shared what I'm sharing. That's what we call a retweet. And yesterday, my Saturday, I was asking people, have you had the opportunity to use a LiveScribe pen? You can see, let's have a look if I can find that tweet. Here we go, here it is there. Have any of you used LiveScribe pens? Would you recommend? What's the greatest benefit? And I came back, that was at 13:45, and I came back probably about half an hour later, and all of these people were retweeting and sending me tips, giving me recommendations on the LiveScribe pen because I was thinking of buying one. Now, with all of the feedback that I've got, you can see it all the way up here, people were sharing their comments, and this is fantastic. So what I did was I took the time to individually thank these people for taking the time to share that piece of information, because they took time in their day to provide me with information. So etiquette, just as being politeness and courteousness, courtesy I should say, to thank them. So that's a great way that you need to build relationships. If someone retweets you or sends information in response to a question, thank them. Another way, of course, too, is retweeting people. I often do that as well. If I read something that I like, I'll retweet it and share it with my followers and the people connected with me on Twitter. So that's something that you can do as well. Share great information as well. I think that's a really good way to build relationships and build that credibility and trust. What you shouldn't do is post things such as, too personal things that a potential client or a connection may think, oh, I don't know whether I want to hire that person because of what they've said. So be very wary that everything that you post, everything that you comment on, everything that you share is very much on brand all the time. And I talk about that all the time as well. What I wanted to do now is just pop across to my Facebook page. If you're not connected with me, love you to reach out. My Facebook page is facebook.com/Anne-Marie Cross. Send me an invite and I'd love to connect with you as well. So you'll notice here's my wall, and I often get people commenting or liking, by pressing that like button there, some of the quotes that I have. And so what I do is I make sure that I dedicate a little bit of time during my day to actually reach out to those people, to thank them. So if we go down here, here's someone, a very close friend of mine, Gail Howard, who shared a YouTube video that she thought I would find interesting. So what I did was I said, that's a fantastic video, Gail. Thanks for sharing, because I'm, pleased that she reached out and did that. Here is a tweet that I had written yesterday, and I wrote, the thing that often stops us from achieving our full potential is the reflection we see in the mirror. How are you blocking your progress? And one of my connections, and Ange Gross, wrote a comment back. And so what I did was I replied to her, just reaching out and showing her that I read the comment and that I certainly appreciated that. Here's someone else that came onto my wall and wrote a bit of a quotation there, and so I thank them for that. I mean, that was great. I enjoyed that, enjoyed the read. Goals are dreams with deadlines. And so reached out and said, thanks, Alex, that was a great quote. So those are sorts of things that you can do as well. Another strategy and that I used just the other day, and you can see that it sparked a bit of toing and froing, was I asked if anybody, on my wall, I asked if anybody knew whether or not Shopping Cart, that's the system that I use, my back end, the Shopping Cart system allowed you to put images within your autoresponders. And someone reached out to me and said, hey, Joshua Brittag is someone who is an expert in that area. So what Joshua did was he wrote me this great response, told me, yes, you can do that. He actually rang up Shopping Cart and asked them about that on my behalf. So I mean, that was just so amazing. So what I did was, here you notice I wrote, it was a shout out, a huge thank you and shout out to Joshua for taking the time to research and respond to an email issue I was having with my Shopping Cart system. An expert in his field, obviously the go-to guy. But what I did was I also tagged him in my post, which means that it showed up on his wall. And so he could see that I was giving him a shout out. And as you can see, we started toing and froing in our communications, and he reached out and said, thanks, Anne-Marie, I'm humbled by your shout out. So that's something that you can do as well. If someone takes the time to share some resources with you, or in Joshua's case, he rang and connected with Shopping Cart and asked them, I mean, that's just fantastic. I believe, and I wanted to honour that and thank him for that in open, in the public forum. And so that's what I did. So, I built a relationship with him. I mean, he was felt gratitude, as I did, for him reaching out, and it was great to be able to pass on his details to the people that I'm connected with. So those are a couple of ways that you can do. So in summary, on Twitter, retweet people, thank them for retweeting, and do it individually if you can, and personalize it a little bit. I think is really great. On your wall, make sure that you do spend some time and dedicate to actually personalizing and showing them that you are there hanging out, that it's not some automated thing, but that you are really taking the time to nurture and build a relationship and really show an interest in what they're doing. I think that that's so important when you're relationship building. So my coach's request for you today is, what action step are you going to take to build and nurture your relationships. Maybe you're already doing some of these things, fantastic. Maybe you're not, and then can integrate that within your social networking and relationship building. You may have other strategies that you're using as well. Would love to hear from you. So there's a comment section on the bottom here of this post. Let me know, reach out. I'll always love hearing your comments. And a lot of people come through and see that as well. So if you've got another tip or a strategy on how you're relationship building to nurture your network, let us know. Always love to share that as well. Now, if you found this video helpful, I'd love you to press the like button and share that with your connections and some of the other buttons as well. That allows us to spread this message. Would really appreciate you doing that. Hope you have a fantastic day and look forward to connecting with you on the next video. Thanks everyone.